Summer is here, which means we all want to look and feel our best. A GLP-1 may be right for you. Visit orderlymeds.com to learn more about which GLP-1 you could be eligible for. Getting started is fast, easy, and happens virtually through telemedicine from licensed professionals. Check it out for yourself. Go to orderlymeds.com/podcast. That's orderlymeds.com/podcast. Taking care of yourself feels great. Compounded medications are not FDA approved. Eligibility required and determined by a licensed provider. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your podcast host, Hanju Lee, and you are listening to Better Golf Daily, where I introduce one concept, one research-backed idea, and one thing you can take straight to the golf course. Let's go. Okay, I got a question for you. If your golf ball slices badly out to the right and into the trees every single time, what do you think is causing that? Most golfers would say it's their swing path. They're swinging outside in, cutting across the ball, so it's spinning off to the right. Makes sense, right? Well, here's a twist. For most golfers, that's not actually the main reason at all. And the golf world only figured this out for certain in the last 15 or 20 years, once we had the technology to actually measure it. Today, we're setting the record straight. This is part 3 of our 5-part series, Science of the Swing, inspired by the book, The Science of Golf by Will Haskett. Here's a quick recap. 2 episodes ago, we talked about impact and why its center strike beats raw speed. Last episode, we got into the kinematic sequence, that hip, torso, arms, club order that creates effortless power, and how amateur often fire their arms too early and lose the whole chain. If you haven't caught those 2 yet, they set up everything we're talking about today. This one might genuinely change how you think about your own miss. So here's a little story. For most of golf's history, the instructors taught something called the old ball flight laws. And the basic idea was that your swing path, the direction on the club is traveling through impact, was the main thing steering where your ball starts and curves. Swing path was king. That idea got taught in books and lessons on driving ranges for generations. And then launch monitors showed up. The fancy radar camera system you see behind tour pros now, the ones that can track golf balls down the smallest detail. And when the researchers actually measured thousands and thousands of real shots, they found something that surprised a lot of very experienced golf instructors. It's not the path that mainly decides where your ball starts. It's the club face. Specifically, where the club face is pointing at the exact moment it strikes the ball. Depending on the club, somewhere around 80 to 85% of your ball's starting direction comes from the face. Only a small slice, maybe 15 to 20%, comes from the path. So if your ball is starting way right to where you're aiming, in most every case, your club face was open at impact, not your path. Your face. Okay, so the face decides where it starts. What decides the curve? This is where it gets really clean and simple. The curve comes from the gap between your face and your path. If your face and your path are pointed exactly the same direction, the ball flies straight, no curve at all, even if that direction is way off to the right of your target. But if there's a gap between them, say your face is pointing more to the right than your path is traveling, that gap creates a side spin, and the ball curves back towards wherever the path was pointing. The bigger the gap, the bigger the curve. And we're not talking about a small effect either. Roughly 1 degree of difference between your face and your path can create about 12 yards of curve by the time the ball travels 300 yards. 1 degree, 12 yards. That's how sensitive this is. So think about the classic slice for a second with this new information. A slice starts a little right of target and then curves even further right. Under the old thinking, golfers were told that problem was your out to in path. So the fix was swing more from inside. But the real issue is that your face is wide open compared to your path. And you go make your path even more into out without touching the face. You can actually make the gap bigger, not smaller, and the slice gets worse. That's why so many golfers try to swing from the inside to fix the slice, and it backfires. They were solving the 15% instead of the 85%. So, all right, real golf application time. If you're fighting a slice or any consistent curve you don't want, the first place to look is your club face, not your path. A few things affect where your face points at impact. Your grip is a big one. If you grip too weak, meaning your hands are rotated too far to the left on the club, for a right-handed golfer, of course, face tend to stay open through impact. Your release, meaning how much your forearm and wrist rotates through the ball, matters too. If you're holding on tight and steering the club instead of letting your hands rotate naturally, the face often stays open. You don't need a launch monitor to start diagnosing this, by the way. Though if you ever get to access one, even for a single session, it's worth it just for this reason alone. You can watch it yourself with your own eyes on the course. Watch where the ball starts relative to your target line. That's mostly your face talking. Then watch how much it curves after that. That's the gap between the face and the path. Two separate pieces of information, two separate things to work on. Now here's a bigger idea I want you to walk away with. So much of scoring better at golf isn't about hitting the ball harder or better. It's about diagnosing your misses correctly in the first place. If you're solving for the wrong problem, you can practice for years and never fix the actual issue. Understanding the real ball flight laws, meaning you finally know which knob you're actually turning. Okay, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Talk to you next time. Until then, aim your answers at the face, not just the path. Bye for now.